and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce you all to our next speaker, Aditya Singh, Vice President, Product Management, Service Cloud, Salesforce. Aditya is going to enlighten us on how generative AI will transform customer experience. Aditya is currently based out of Bangalore, and he comes with over 17 years of product leadership experience, having worked for companies in the Silicon Valley and India. Prior to joining Salesforce, he was Vice President, Product and General Manager at Bloomreach, and has also held product leadership roles at Intuit, OpenTable, and Myntra. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and make some noise for Aditya Singh.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay. Fantastic. Well, thank you, everyone. As was mentioned, I'm Aditya Singh, the VP of Product of Service Cloud at Salesforce, and really excited to talk to you about how generative AI is transforming, customer experience as we know it. Before I get started, just want to mention this disclaimer: Salesforce is a publicly traded company, so any purchasing decisions that you make, today, do it based on product and functionality that's already available. I'll be talking to you, through the day about functionality that might be coming on our roadmap, but all purchasing decisions should happen, based on what's already generally available. All right. With that aside, I want to thank all of you for coming in, braving the rains, getting here this morning, and actually patiently sitting through this discussion today. So thank you so much for joining us. So several of you here are service leaders, passionate about service. But if you look at service, there's a lot going on, right? As service leaders, basically your customers are expecting personalized experiences. Their demands are increasing. At the same time, the case volume, that you see, the complexity is also increasing. But from a service leadership perspective, you want to provide, those magical experiences to your customers, and you want to make sure that the right agent gets the right case at the right time and they have the right tools. But wait, in addition, you're also trying to reduce cost. You're also trying to increase, revenue, right? So how do you do all of this? It's becoming, more and more complex, right? So if you had to summarize, what that means is, basically you're being tasked to do more, but with fewer resources, right? And if you look at agents, 78% of agents say that it's very difficult for them to balance speed and quality. You can't, basically do both without the use and help of technology. You have to make sure that you're efficient, that you are able to close cases in an efficient manner, manage your contact center effectively, but you cannot compromise quality either, right? So how do you do this? The answer does lie in technology, and we're very, very lucky that generative AI, which has taken the entire industry by storm, right, is once in a generation technological revolution, right? A lot of key people like Bill Gates have said that since the internet, right, the advent of the internet, this is the next big thing, and I truly believe so, and so does Salesforce, right? Because with the generative AI, you can bring automation, you can make sure that you connect different customer experiences across different channels to provide that consistency, to meet that customer expectation, without having to hire a lot of engineers, without having to spend a lot of money. A lot of this is being enabled through generative AI, right? And so it's a very, very exciting time, right, for the industry. And let me walk you through how to go about doing that, right? The good news is if you look at leadership, if you look at the boardrooms today, all across the country, all across the world, 84%, right, of senior leaders already believe that AI and generative AI will, help them bring efficiency, will help them deliver a positive, customer experience, will help them generate revenue. So this buy-in is already happening, at the leadership level, right? So all of us have to educate ourselves on, what does that mean, and how do we make sure we successfully implement that within our organizations? Now, Even though all of this is exciting, to be honest, it's easier said than done, right? There are a lot of challenges, whenever you're looking to adopt a new technology, especially something, as revolutionary as generative AI that just, really took off a year ago, right? There are multiple reasons, why it's a challenge. Firstly, from a skill set perspective, right? You might have people within the organization across different functions who don't, know how to, basically take advantage of this technology. So how do you basically give them that training, that learning, right? That's one challenge. The second challenge, which is, even harder, is data, right? Data is siloed, in most companies across different applications, across different systems. And, that's the foundation, that's the fundamental, foundation on which generative AI and your AI strategies, are, based on, right? So it's garbage in, garbage out. How do you make sure you get that data from all these different silos into a single system so that you can really, really take advantage, of these technological advances, right? And then the third thing is, again, quality, right? There is a genuine lack of trust also in AI. That hey, we're used to doing things a specific way. How do we, take advantage of something that's so new, right? But we do have some suggestions around how you can do that, right? If you look at the data problem that I mentioned, right, with data being trapped in different systems, this lack of trust gets even more pertinent, right? There are concerns that a lot of customers have, that a lot of leaders have, that hey, what if my AI bot hallucinates, right? That's a term that a lot of you may have heard in the recent past. Hallucination. How do you control that? That is doable, right? That is a problem that you can solve. And then, bias, toxicity. Which LLM should you use? How costly, is this LLM technology? A lot of these are concerns, right? Which is perfectly fine, especially, when you're working with something new. But, the good news is, we are solving these problems, right? And trying to, make it easier for customers, like yourself, to take advantage of all of this. So, that brings me to, my next point. How can you, right, take advantage of AI? How can you, solve this data silo problem, right? How can you make sure you're able to deliver those really memorable, magical experiences to your users, right? And at Salesforce, it really comes down to this, right? We believe it's a combination of your CRM, the data, right, that you have in these different repositories, AI and automation, and most importantly, trust, right? That's a fundamental value that we as an organization, it's one of our top values, but then something that's also top of mind for us, and it should be top of mind for you, right? How do you make sure that you really maintain that trust with your customers, with your users, but at the same time are able to personalize that journey for them? So Salesforce, we've been on this, AI innovation journey for the last 10 years. Even though, Gen AI just, became a big trend last year, we've been very much, invested in our products and in our teams and making sure that we're, ahead of the curve, right? And if you look at it, even from a customer service perspective, we're the market leader. As you can see in this graph, we have significant market share in the industry. And what that really means, right, from a product perspective, is we get a lot of different perspective from customers. We work with customers in different industries, right? And we're able to understand and get that feedback, and that basically goes into the roadmap, and that's how we develop our point of view, and that's really what drives our innovation. So if you take a step back, trust, right? It's all about trust, and how do you basically solve that trust deficit in AI? And what we've developed, right, is this revolutionary, state-of-the-art Einstein trust layer, right? So what is the Einstein trust layer? It's basically a gateway, right, that between your data that sits, on our platform and these, third-party LLMs, right? There's several, different companies offering them, and what we're trying to solve for, right, are these really deep-rooted questions of hey, how do I know my data is safe? If I share my data with a third-party LLM, how do I make sure that data is not being utilized then by my competitors because I don't have control over that data? Wait, I'm in the financial services industry. I have all this PII information. How do I trust that that doesn't get leaked or that's safe and secure? That is the fundamental basis of the Einstein trust layer. It sits between the data between these LLMs, and I'll share with you, some examples right in this architectural diagram that explains to you, how we go about doing that. Right. First and foremost, we make sure that any data that you have is masked. Right. We do masking and demasking before we send that to the LLMs. Right. So that no personal, no PII information is shared. Secondly, we have a zero data retention policy, right? We do have agreements with these different platforms like OpenAI, where they will never, store your data, and your data is completely safe, right? Then how the other pieces, around hallucination. How do you make sure, the models are not hallucinating? We ground your data, right? We call it dynamic grounding. We ground it with your customer data, right? Before sending it to the LLM, we take the prompt and make sure it's grounded on your CRM data. It's personalized so that the end results also are personalized, right? And then finally, you can have biases and toxicity. That's a concern that comes, as well. Like, how do I make sure that the bot doesn't say anything wrong, or the bot doesn't say anything, that's abusive? And so we are very aware of that, and so we build these unique models that help solve for bias and toxicity as well, right? So that's the Einstein trust layer. And this is just an overall slide that explains that from a service perspective, we are the number one AI CRM for service. We work across different channels, right? So that we fundamentally believe that we want to be the single one-stop shop, right, for anything service related within your organization. And this summarizes our offering, right? We have something called Service Cloud Einstein, and the whole thesis behind this is to make it very simple for you as an organization to get started on your AI journey, right? So what we've done here is we've taken all of the technical pieces right around the different LLM models, whether that's OpenAI, Anthropic. There's several out there. We have our own AI models as well. You can choose to bring your own. You can utilize Salesforce's LLM models. We're a platform, right? We're LLM agnostic. We can basically allow you to take advantage of any of those. But then through the LLM gateway, right, through the Einstein trust layer that I talked about, we bring that information and then we combine it with the customer 360 data, right? Data that's sitting on your sales cloud, your service cloud, like all of these different platforms. We make sure that you have a 360-degree view, right, of your customer data, of your profile. We have a scalable platform called Data Cloud. And then finally, that leads to features that deliver a personalized customer experience, right? Both for your end user, but as well as your agent, right? We want to make sure that your agents are also becoming more productive. And so we have features like service replies, right, that guide your agent and explains to them like what post that they should respond to when it comes to let's say a chat with your end user. We have work summaries, right? We have knowledge articles where instead of having your agent write an article, we can basically summarize existing case and create that and turn that into a knowledge article. We have search answers where if somebody is looking for knowledge, one of your end users, they can go directly on your site, type a question, and then we would look through all of your knowledge articles and then summarize, right, what those are, and really allow your user to find what they're looking for without even contacting an agent and increasing the case deflection rate. So these are just examples, right? There are a ton more. Happy to chat about them. We have a booth outside, but really, really exciting stuff. And wanted to just thank you all for giving me the opportunity to talk to you. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Singh.